Cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Ines. I'm the head of marketing at TestingTime. For the ones who don't know TestingTime yet, we provide the world's largest test user recruiting platform for user and market researchers. The core of our service is a pool of 830,000 test users and a fully automated candidate matching system. We apply state-of-the-art screening, and thanks to AI-based processes, we can ensure pool quality at scale. And today's webinar is all about state-of-the-art screening. In the next 30 minutes, our pros Celine and Ivana will guide you through some tips and tricks on how to write good screener questions. You can ask your questions during the webinar. Just use the Q&A function of Zoom. You will find it at the bottom of the Zoom window. And we will go through your questions after the presentation. Please note that you can also upvote questions. So this way we avoid that questions are being asked multiple times. And at the end of the webinar, we have a little goodie for you. So please stay a few seconds with us. You can get it. And I would say, let's start and hand over the word to Ivana and Celine. Hello, ladies.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ines, for this introduction. Hello, everybody, also from my side. Thanks for joining us. I'm Celine. I work in the operations team at TestingTime since about a year now. And today I'll share my tips and tricks, what I've learned along the way writing screeners.
Hello from my side as well. Thank you, Celine and Ines, for this introduction. And also thank you, everyone, for joining us today. So I'm Ivana. I'm a product manager at TestingTime. And let me give you a bit of a context, what you can hear from me today. So one of my first goals at TestingTime was to help our customers to write screener questions at scale. For that, we did a product discovery where we discovered the main challenges our customers are having when writing screener questions. And also we did a lot of user test rounds. And at the end, we came up with a couple of features and improvements that are coming soon. And I will share that with you today. Let's kick off with some interesting data. We allow our customers to write their own screener questions since December 2020. And since then, we have 2,100 questions created so far. And also, like the orders that are coming and representing as a customer that wrote their screener question inside, it's like 31% of all orders. And for you that still didn't use TestingTime to recruit users or still didn't write your questions by yourself, I just want here with this screen to share with you like our main page from which you can write your own screener questions. So basically, when you are on the order form of the TestingTime, you have these steps into the form, and when you are in the screener step, when you have these three options to choose from, and one of the options is to define your own screener questions. And this is what you can see when you select that option. So basically, you can use that to write your own screener questions. Now I hope this helps as a warm up to the session. And now I'm back to Celine.
Thanks, Ivana. Let's start. So to illustrate the theory in the next few slides, imagine the following: that you're working for an online shop and you'd like to test your new prototype for the grocery shopping interface, and you thought about TestingTime and decided that you would recruit test users for a moderated user test through them. Now, the challenge. What comes to your mind are probably things in the direction of these questions, mainly what stands between me and the users that are delivering me the most valuable insights. And in my eyes, it's the screener. Let's address the screener by breaking it down into 3 steps. first we define who to look for, then we create the questions, and afterwards we have some golden rules to follow to really level up your screener. Okay, once we've defined who we're looking for, it's going to be a lot easier to ask the right questions. So let's start with this. It's probably tempting to come up with something like this: someone who regularly buys things online as our target group, but this actually applies to a lot of people. So let's be a bit more specific here. Who is someone? You can define this as men and women. Next up, I would define regularly. There are so many answers to this. There are people. Therefore, I would recommend, whenever possible, using numerical values instead of usually, regularly, sometimes, etc. In our case, maybe twice a month is a good point to start to replace regularly. Things, once again, are too broad. Since we're testing our prototype for the grocery shopping interface, I think it makes sense to look for people who also actually buy groceries online. So in the end, we would end up with something like this to base our questionnaire on. Men and women between 18 and 45, I added the age, who buy groceries online at least twice a month. Now we know who we're looking for. Next up is how to arrange the question. It's important to start generally and then get more specific to kind of weed out not fitting people from the beginning, so that personas that don't match the target group, firstly, don't have to waste their time, and secondly, that we are sure we are getting the right people, since every question is another step to disqualify test users that don't match. So if you take our example criteria, I would want to know first if they buy online at all. Second, what they buy online. And in the third questions, I would ask them how often they buy groceries online. So this would be multiple select, and single select. And I'm going into more details later. If you're following these rules, sorry, Ivana, one more back.
Sorry.
If you're following these rules, about 5 to 8 questions is a good rule of thumb for a regular screener. And also when you use testing times, you actually don't need to worry about age and gender or domicile. If you mark this in your order, our inviting mechanism will do the work for you, so you don't have to screen this information. Now you can skip. Okay, pro tip at this point. If you know you're going to test more than once on this same or similar persona, makes sense to save the questions for you and your team in your testing time profile. The advantage for our system, this has also the advantage for our system that the inviting mechanism can target people more efficiently, and this helps you reduce misfits, and also you can save time. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so at the end of this first part, I want to share with you what is coming from as an improvement when it comes to writing your own screener question. So basically, you remember what Celine said about the value of reusing questions, especially reusing your own questions. So the value is that our system can find matching people more easily, as the partial answers are already saved in the profile of the test user. And basically our invitation system can just go and pick those users and invite to see if they also match to the other of your questions. And following this direction, the product team currently is working on the question library, where as a first in the first release, in the question library, and you can see here the demonstration, how you can access to the question library. First, we're gonna offer our top questions that our customer success team is using today. They are questions ready-made from our experts, and if you use them, you can minimize systematic bias and get highly accurate answers from our test users. And yeah, basically what we allow now is that when you access to the question library, you can browse for those questions. And also here you can see that you can filter by categories, or you can search them, and you just select the one that fits your needs, and you are good to go and add the questions. Also what we discover during our user research is that our customers have almost every time are using one or two same or slightly modified questions. And what will come during this year, after we release the question library as a second iteration and improvement of the library, we're going to allow our customer to reuse their own questions that created in the orders before. So yeah, that's the news from the product team, and when it comes to this part. And now back to Celine about the question types.
Thanks, Ivana. So before I mentioned multiple select and single select questions, these question types are the most frequently used, and it's possible to build actually any screener with just these two question types. As the name implies, multiple select questions let the user choose more than one answer, and single select let the user choose only one answer. Here are some examples for you that I would use in our case now. So we give them a selection of what they do online, and second one, a single select, is a frequency that we are asking for. Whenever I can, I always use multiple select questions, since they're so versatile and give you the possibility to kind of hide what you're looking for with matching irrelevant answers. And sometimes it's even possible to include a fake answer. That is, if you're asking what shops you have shopped before, for example, you can add one that is invented or doesn't exist, and someone who would click this is immediately disqualified, since this person is obviously a liar. In our system, we even have the function that when we mark this answer as fake, our system would immediately block this person, since we don't welcome people who lie in our pool. This is one of the many mechanisms at TestingTime to prevent misfits. Now moving on to single select questions. They're great for time periods and frequencies, but I always recommend asking yourself, can I also ask the same information in a multiple select question? So I would be rather careful with single select questions. Then we have three other formats that we don't use as often, but can be very helpful. We use open text questions if we want to know more about the user. For example, what are the reasons they buy groceries online? This would be a very individual question, and we couldn't capture all the possible answers in a multiple select question. And it will also not be counted as qualify or disqualify. But you can use it if you need some additional information about the person before your research, or it can also help verify answers. I mainly use it to confirm critical information, for example, like the job title, and kind of connect the dots if I also see the other answers the person has given. Numerical questions. are great if you're asking for numbers and the range of the number is quite high. For example, for income or salary questions, you can choose this question type. And there is a last question type that we don't use as often as the other ones, and it's the liquor questions, where you can let people confirm to a statement.
Okay, thank you, Celine, for those great tips when it comes to question types. And let me now share with you what we know today about our customers and how they use the question types. If you look in the graph on the right side, you see that most of our customers are using single select today, which is 61.5%. I can tell you that a big portion of those 61.5% are yes/no questions, which we're gonna talk further why they're not recommended. And multi-select are used with 36.5% and text with just only 2%. What are the insights that we know today? When it comes to question types, during the user research, we saw that all of our customers understand the difference between the multi-select and single select, and of course the text. But when it comes to them to start and writing, sometimes it's challenging to choose the right question type. And also what we discovered, it's about when our customer is defining the answers and the rules that they need to be selected for those answers. You know that for the multi-select now we offer qualify, disqualify, and irrelevant rule. And for single select, we offer just qualify and disqualify. And what we know is that irrelevant rule is the most challenging one for our customer. And even though they know, let's say, the definition about the irrelevant and what that means, it's challenging for our customer to know, okay, what is happening behind the scene and how TestingTime actually it's operating with those rules. And I'm gonna share a bit about that part. So first, let me talk about the impact when choosing the wrong question type. In this example, what payment method have you used in the last 3 months when shopping online? Here you see that it's a single select because of the radio buttons, and yeah, the customer offered a couple of options. And actually why this is not good question type, I will tell you in a moment. So basically customer chose to single select over multi-select question type. And here test user can choose only one possible answer, even maybe more than one is true for him or her. Like in the example, we had MasterCard, Visa, and Twint. And yeah, maybe I'm using MasterCard and Twint and not just Twint, but here I have the possibility to choose only one answer. And actually what is happening is that the test user can give inaccurate or maybe, let's say, incomplete answer, which could lead to customer will get a test user profiles that do not match with the requirements of a perfect profile. And now let me share with you about how answer rules are working. So in the very same example that I shared before, I just added here the rules for this question type. So you can see now that this question, it's multi-select. And I said here, MasterCard, it's irrelevant, and Visa and Twint is qualified, and the last two options are disqualified. And what I want to look, like what kind of profiles I want to look here with this question, I want to have profiles that use only Twint as an option. Let me quickly go through the rules and how they work behind the scene, let's say. And so here, if the test user choose qualified and disqualified answer, then basically we disqualified, and if the customer choose qualified and irrelevant answer, then it means that it's qualified. And if the test user, choose disqualify and irrelevant, then it means that the test user will be disqualified. And back to our example, here, as I said, so the customer choose here to include another option, MasterCard and Visa, which are irrelevant, and Twint is qualified, and basically the last two are disqualified, meaning that with the irrelevant rule, the value is that you can add more options in your answers. So you just offer the test user more option to choose from, so they can just they won't put, okay, what you exactly looking for, like from this question. And now what are the improvements coming in Q3 related with the question types and rules? Basically what we discover is that our customer really needs help, like at the point, like meaning that, okay, when I need to choose question type, I really want to have help in that part, like and that means that because of those inputs, we come up with the tooltip. So whenever you are at the point to choose a question type, we offer a tooltip. You can access through the this little tooltip sign here, and yeah, you can see the information about multi-select, single select, and text, and also you can click the learn more link, so you can find more about question types. And also it's the same when it comes to the rules. So whenever you're at the point to mark the rules for your answer, you have a help at the point, and you can see, okay, what qualify, irrelevant, and disqualify means, so you can choose better the rules for your answers. And now back to the question guidance and to Celine.
Thanks, Ivana. So now you've defined the criteria, we thought about the kind of questions we're going to ask, and we kind of have in mind what we're going to do. The last step is also always as important as the other two. It's reviewing the screener. These are some things that I always think about when I write screeners. First, it's everybody needs to be able to answer the question. Yeah, just imagine every possible situation of every person. I know it's hard, but try to imagine and give them an option to answer. And one easy way to do this is to add an additional answer that is none of the above, I prefer not to answer, other, or I'm not sure. This is just an exit for people that are not sure, that, yeah, they can exit the question or the screener. Then it's making sure you talk to all genders, especially in German, it's easy to use the generic masculinum, but using a star in or just using gender inclusive language in general will increase truthful answers. And then it's important to use easy to understand language, so avoid complicated words or specific words that are only known by certain people groups. Yeah, keep it simple. Then one big thing is to avoid asking for approval. We'll later see in the examples why this is so important. Then one question, one information. So don't ask too many information points in one question. Check if your frequencies make sense, if you're asking for them, or the time intervals, if everything is covered. Then place the answer you're looking for in different places. So don't put it always at the top or at the bottom, mix it up a little. And if you're doing a multiple select and you have to add some irrelevant answers, you can do some research to kind of match the other answers. Now to the rapid fire and our examples. Have you brought groceries within the last month online? Yes or no? My problem with this is that we ask for approval. That means we're giving away what we're actually looking for. And so it makes it really, really easy for people to just click yes, and then they're already included in the study, but they're not actually, maybe not actually the people you're looking for. So a better formulated question like this would be, when was the last time you've bought groceries online? And then give them a time period and then accept the answers within the last months. In this question, it's a lot going on. So please complete the following sentence. Within the last 18 months, I have bought a flat house. The single select can answer that I live in myself, that I don't live in myself, or this statement doesn't apply to me. The good thing is that there is an exit option. What I don't like so much is that you're asking for approval again, and that you want to know so many things in this question. So I would rather formulate it in 3 questions instead. First, I would want to know if the people are homeowners, then if this house they're living in is their first buy, and when they bought the house. So it's more clear, it's easier to understand, and it gives people more exits if they don't qualify. This is a very common question, actually. Again, we're giving away what we're looking for, and liars have a 50% chance of coming through. You can just look up the shop online quickly and say that you're a customer. If it's an online shop, I would first check if the people shop online at all, and afterwards which online shops they have bought from in the past. There I would give a multiple select answer and include an invented fake answer and disqualify the people. So it's more clear, and I think it will help you find more matching users.
Okay, thank you, Celine. And yeah, now let's see what we know from the product side. So we know that today we have orders that have inside yes, no question, like maybe 10% or 15% of our orders are coming with yes, no questions. And what we discover in our user rounds is that our customers don't perceive yes, no as bad formulated questions. And yeah, they really want to help how they can reformulate the question. So here, let's see what is the impact when the customer writes yes, no questions. So basically in this example, do you use invoice as a payment method when shopping online? Yes, no, this is a bad formulated question because now the test user knows that you are looking for someone that use invoice as a payment method, and they can decide to lie. Basically, let's go through the impact. So customer writes yes, no question, and then the test user already knows what the customer expects as an answer. And then the test user is prompt to give a false answer in order to be qualified for the study. And at the end, the user can have a profiles that do not match with the requirements of a perfect test user. how we're going to help our customers to overcome using yes, no questions. Basically, what is coming already in Q2 is the automatic detection of the yes, no questions. So whenever we detect that our customer is writing yes, no question, we're gonna show this warning message saying that avoiding asking like yes, no questions. And then we have learn more link so the customer can follow it and can have some tips how to reformulate the question. Also, like some other things that Celine mentioned in her tips, and I'm going to follow up from the product side. So we have lots of orders where in the screener part and as part of the answer, there is a no exit option, meaning that there is no other or none of the above as an answer option for our test users. And like from the user research, we know that our customers sometimes like really forget to include that kind of an option. So they're so focused on the other answers, what they can offer, on the rules that they need to match with the answer, and somehow like the none of the above or other or this, so we call the exit option, is forgotten. So this is an example of it. So basically, like what payment method have you used in the last 3 months? And here the MasterCard, Visa, and Twint, and the other option, it's or none of the above option, it's excluded. What actually that means, like whenever customer do not include exit answer option, test user is somehow forced to give an answer that does not apply to her case. So meaning that what if I don't use any of those payment options, right? So what should I click? And basically test users decide to give a false answer or they just exit the page. And at the end, the effect on the customer side is the same what I mentioned on all of other examples, since that they might have profiles that do not match with the requirements of a perfect test user profile. How we're gonna help our customer in that segment? So what is coming in Q2 already, we're gonna add a none of the above option by default as a default option. So whenever you go into your question box and write your own and start writing the screener question, you will have the none of the above as a default option. This option there is just a reminder. You can decide to delete it and maybe redefine it like other, or maybe something else that you want to define here, but actually it will have the same impact. As I mentioned, this is already coming now in Q2. This is what we have to share, like me and Celine. I really hope that the tips and what Celine shared will really help you to improve and also to start writing a better screener question. And also, like from a product side, I really hope that you're excited about all the improvements that are coming in the upcoming quarters, so you can start writing better screener question at scale. So now I guess back to Ines.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ivana. Thank you, Celine, for sharing your knowledge with all of us. And let's look at the questions our viewers have. They're a bit shy today, or already enjoying the sun outside, the beautiful weather, but we have two in. And one is, when is the question library coming? What will it include? I guess, Ivana, this one is for you.
Exactly. So yeah, as I mentioned before, the question library will come in Q3. So in Q3, you will have an opportunity to access to the question library where you can see already made questions from ready-made question from our experts. You will have the opportunity to browse through the questions and also to search. And if you find the question that you want to use, you can just add it to your screener questions. And as an improvement in Q3 or at the beginning of 2022, it will be a question. We're going to offer this opportunity to our customer to reuse the questions that they already created in their previous orders. Yeah, so I'm so excited for what is coming with the question library and also how our customer are going to use it. Yeah, I hope this helps.
Thank you. Yeah. And I think the next one is for Celine. What are the cases to use yes or no questions? Ooh, good one.
Good one. Yeah, for sure. I would say, so I use it if there are for a remote study, and if there are very specific technical requirements, you can ask if the test user can meet these requirements. It's either yes or a no most of the time. And if you're using this question, then I will put it at the very end.
Thank you.
That would be one example.
So there's another one. The examples were very helpful. Where can we find more of those? Maybe I will pick this one because I told you at the beginning that there's a goodie at the end of the webinar, and it's actually our guide for how to write good screener questions. And in there you will find many more examples. So check it out and let us know if you need even more. We can share them with you anytime. But with this guide, you should be having enough of more examples and learn how to write good screener questions.
Thanks, Ines.
You're welcome. So there is another question. It's actually a comment from Franklin. I really like this tips shared. I actually never knew single select and multi-select could have such an impact on market research. Do you have any comments on that, ladies?
Yeah, I think it's common. I thought so too when I first started writing screeners. I thought, what is the difference exactly? But once you get to know all the use cases and get to know the advantages and disadvantages of both, you can fully use their potential to help you.
Fully agree with Celine. Nothing to add.
Great. And that was it. So thank you for sharing your knowledge, Ivana and Celine, once again. And thanks for the viewer for participating in this webinar, especially with the nice weather outside. I don't know where you're exactly sitting, but in Switzerland, it's super sunny today and super hot. And if you still have some questions left, even after the webinar, don't worry. You can anytime send us an email and send us those questions. We will be happy to answer them. Actually, this webinar has been recorded, so this whole session, and we will upload the whole video of it on our website, on our blog. So you, from Monday on, you will able to rewatch it or share it with your colleagues. And yeah, don't forget the guide at the end. And thank you for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for participating.
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.